Hi, this is Randall Green, and I would like to walk you through an overview of my blended learning environment. First of all, that environment is actually centered in Moodle because that's where I began my journey into blended learning several years ago. So it really is the heart and soul of my teaching. And if you look here on the main page, this is the American Lit page. I actually have two pages for the classes that I teach. This particular page is the home page for American literature, and you can see it's quite extensive. There are general resources listed here. There are resources listed for the huge project that we do first semester called the Personal Anthology. Uh, that anthology is actually a portfolio assignment that the kids compile over the course of the first 2.5 marking periods, and that's what I spend my Christmas break doing, is grading these things. Next year that's going to change a bit because I'm going to make that portfolio electronic through Easy Portfolio through Google Docs, another application that I've run across in the last couple of months. You can see again that the amount of documentation and the amount of access and resources that the kids have here is pretty extensive. So it's taken me a long time to put this thing together, and it just keeps getting bigger. So the other thing that I find myself doing is editing and reworking the page so that I don't overload it with too much. Some of the stuff gets dated and you have to take it out. Um, in addition to that, this last semester I've used Google Docs a lot, relied on Google Docs a lot, partly because our school is a Google school now, and we've purchased Chromebooks, and I obviously want to use what's available to me and use it successfully. So what you see here is my drive on Google Drive, and there are a number of folders here. The most important application I've run across in Google Docs, in fact, is Doctopus, and what that allows me to do is create a document and share it with kids. The most important part of that is that I'm the owner of the document. I create a spreadsheet. The kids actually receive the document itself, but the spreadsheet goes to a particular kid. Their work only goes to me. They can't share that work with anybody else, which is important in reducing the amount of plagiarism that can take place. Too often kids share everything with their buddies, and the next thing you know, you've got two kids submitting the same work, claiming it as their own. But the spreadsheet looks like this. Now the lead-in time for this is a little extensive, but once you've created the first spreadsheet, you can just copy and paste your roster to later versions. And Google Docs, as I said, is become a really important part of what I'm doing, because the other thing that allows me to do is attach a rubric to the kids' work when they submit it. So I'll show you one here. This is a Google document that we're using to create blogs on EduBlog. And what happens is the kids are creating those blogs and then copy and pasting their posts to a Google Doc. That Google Doc then allows me to attach my rubric when I grade it, and it's much easier than trying to grade directly off the blog that they're creating. So this one shows you the post that the student submitted and then my grade for that post. In addition to all that stuff in Google that we're doing, thanks to my friend Rachel, we've also got Kahoot! That we've been using for formative assessments, and you can see I've created a number of those: drama terms, rhetorical terms, quizzes. This allows me to practice formative assessment. We go through these quizzes from time to time to keep reinforcing the terminology or whatever it might be that we're learning at the time, and the kids love it because it's interactive and it's competitive. So we've had pretty good success with this. My American Lit kids, as I said, are creating vlogs, and that all began as a result of my visit to the McCall conference in March. I happened to sit in on a particular forum called 20 time and learned that lots of teachers are actually doing this, but then I incorporated it after spring break, and what it amounts to is 20% of my class time each week is being devoted to the creation of blogs. It's actually tied to research. Kids can do any amount of research, or any, I'm rather research anything that they choose. This page in particular tells them what the assignment requirements are and gives them the due dates. But then what they do is from time to time they're responsible for posting to that blog. This is a blog by one of my students, and you can see at the top there are a number of pages that they have to put together for the blog. Each week they will post on the blog, copy and paste back to this Google document. Each week then I can go back, grade them particularly on that specific entry. I can continue to use the same rubric and continue to look for the improvement that I'm looking for in terms of their use of English when they write and edit. So that is the basis of my blended learning environment at this time, and I got to say that I'm having a lot of fun with it, but it is a lot of work. So if you are a new teacher to this stuff, my advice to you would be this. First of all, you got to take your time. It's going to take time. What you see on my Moodle page is taken literally years to put together. You're going to have to prepare for the investment of time that this requires, and you don't want to rush the work. The other thing I would tell you is that you should preview and back up everything that you can. You don't want to take anything for granted, including that it's going to work when you get in the classroom. So I do a lot of trial and error kind of stuff just to make sure that I don't get caught short. Nothing's worse than standing in front of a classroom with technology that won't work and kids giving you advice from the audience on how to best fix it. The other thing that I would advise you is that you need to relax. The learning curve for this is a circle. I mean, every time I think that I've got a handle on it, something else comes out, something else is developed, and I got to go back to the drawing board and learn something else to add to the arsenal. And the last thing would be, don't be afraid to show off. Your principal probably has no clue what blended learning is. This stuff is so new, in fact. Most of them don't have time to really investigate it, and your evaluation could be influenced by it. So don't be afraid to show off. Let them know what you're doing. Thanks.